Yo, Dove, how are you? The world can hear you now.
All right, here I am in the place to be with my boy Dax. How you doing? Thank you for having me. I just wrapped up the Captain's Quadrant. I'm super excited to be here talking about furries in space.
Well, thank you for. I was a little worried there. I was like, oh God, did I say the wrong night? But look
No,
at
no, you're good.
Joe Dove coming in on the clutch, literally coming in as the intro is started on my show. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna have to just.
No, I made it. I made it. I made it.
Well, I
timed
appreciate you.
everything.
That yeah, you sure did. Because I saw your Twitter and you were live on the show. I was like, oh fuck. But
No, it ended 5 minutes before, so I can hop on here. So
well, thank you so much. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. I get an A for time management.
You do?
Yeah, I'm gonna send
Let's give him a round of applause, everybody. Here you go.
Thank you, thank you.
For those.
I'll give myself a clap.
So you are a man of many hats or many social channels I see on your Twitter.
Scary.
So
Yeah.
do you want to dive into that? Like, how long have you been doing this, and what was the first one you started with?
All right, so I started out with To Be Seen. That's now a horror channel.
Nice.
But when it initially started, it was a spot for all my friends that have been musicians, singers, and different artists. It was a spot for them to come on and get seen on the internet because they didn't have video camera or any type of technology by which to be on the internet. So I said, all right, I got my buddy that sings like Frank Sinatra. I got a piano player. I got my buddy that's a comedian. I put them all together and I came up with To Be Seen. To Be Seen spawned a night that read poetry show with a buddy of mine from college doing a animation. So it was an animated poetry reading night. That was a lot of fun.
Wow. All right.
Until that suit, I got a little bit of money and I upgraded the suit, and that shit was heavy. 20 pounds of night costume. And I was like, all right, that's that. And then, I have a small media company called Insert Media. And with that, I'm able to do a ton of stuff. And I do a lot of church videography. So I do that.
Yeah.
And then To Be Seen grew, and the night stopped growing. So I stopped doing the night, along with the helmet thing being too heavy. And connected with some guys in Australia. And I morphed into Spectrum Sanctrum, where we have the Captain's Quadrant. And we talk about Star Trek for a very long period of time.
Wow. Do you have any advice for people that do this sort of thing? Either I guess, what would you say to your younger self when you were first starting out that you know now that you wish you knew then?
First thing I would say is, listen, don't worry about putting out shitty content. Worry about getting a graphic designer that's really good, that can do dope intros for you. Because as soon as my man changed the intros, To Be Seen's numbers jump back up again. And, the site that we're on just continues to grow leagues and bounds. We just started it, we came up with the idea maybe 2 years ago, but we really started it at the April of 2022. So we're not even a full year old, and we just continue to grow, which I love. So it's also about being patient, because when I was younger, I wasn't very patient. Why are these people watching it? What's going on?
That's true.
Yeah, you just have to be patient, and it'll come.
Yeah, just I for me, I don't know how long. Technically been streaming since possibly 2014, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, I started off on Twitch, then I got banned off Twitch.
Nice.
Because I kept streaming.
Naughty.
Well, yeah, it wasn't that such a big. I was just streaming games that were out early. That I knew a store in New York that they still do break a street day. If you ever want to get a game 2 weeks or 1 week early, check out Video Games New York by St. Mark's. They don't give a fuck.
Nice.
But yeah, I was streaming games early. I streamed Mortal Kombat 10 early. I got a shitload of views and followers.
Of course.
Then I tried to push my luck with Metal Gear 5. I wasn't even playing story content. I told people in the stream I wouldn't ruin the story. I was doing side missions, but I guess somebody reported me. And Twitch sent me emails. I didn't, I was young and stupid. I was like, what they gotta do? And they fucking banned my shit, erased my shit, wouldn't even answer my messages. You know, my crying pictures. You know.
Wow. You know, I got in trouble once. We did a live stream of a very like little known movie because we have another show on Spectrum Sanctrum. It's not just stars like eons ago, and we figured, nobody's gonna give a fuck about this movie called Ator, the Fighting Eagle. Like, what's that? We streamed for 5 minutes. It took us down.
Damn.
So I agree. You got to be careful when you stream. It's crazy.
Oh, that's fair. Well, tonight's theme on the show is animals in space. So I gotta ask you, what is your favorite animal in space video game? Also, are you a gamer? I'm not even sure.
I am. Yes. I'm currently the Giacomo that's playing the Vice City remake on Xbox Special X1 or whatever it is now.
that definitive garbage edition? Yes.
Yes. But it reminds me of happier times, so I'm like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah,
so I'm happy
it's the same game. They just added really shitty job to it, but yeah, same game.
yeah, exactly.
Actually, you're playing the iPhone version, if I remember correctly. That was revealed, so you're not actually playing the PS2 version. You're playing the iPhone code. But I don't want to ruin your experience.
Wow. No, I mean, I love it still. It's still basically, it's like, I don't remember all the missions, but because it was almost like 20 years ago. But I'm playing the game and I'm like, I kind of remember this, and I just remember the driving scheme and how to change my weapons. And I remember like, when I was playing this X amount of years ago, I remember everybody being super blocky and like terrible, dynamic. So it was nice to have some kind of smoothness about it. Like
they updated the controls.
Nice smooth. Yeah, they updated a lot. It was cool. I loved Star Fox.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably one of my favorites. I love flight sims back in the day. When I got into Halo, I love all the different creatures that they have in Halo.
Mm-hmm.
And I would consider them animal-like because you have the apes that are there.
Yeah, the grunts.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah, the grunts. The grunts are like lizards too, So there's a ton. There's a ton that I love. And being the captain of the captain's quadrant,
yeah,
I always think about all the monkeys that they threw in space over the years, and why didn't they become self-aware and return to Earth to take us over?
I always, before I watched any of the Planet of the Apes, I thought that was how Planet of the Apes started. They just
yeah, that makes sense.
They just went to
they threw him into space, and he was like,
"Damn, I just realized I did a Planet of the Apes night. Next time."
Yeah.
Actually, I should have played Planet of the Apes tonight of all nights. I'm sorry, folks, I failed you. But it's funny you mentioned Star Fox because, of course, that's one of the games tonight that I will be playing. But it's very hard. It was like, Star Fox, Super Nintendo Classic, Star Fox N64 Classic. But
yeah,
I didn't realize there was a Star Fox for the GameCube that came out late in the cycle, Star Fox Assault. So that's what we're playing right after this interview for the first time. So I'm really curious how that one played. I don't know, did you ever check that out on the GameCube?
No, I don't. I never had. So GameCube was the one system I never had. I had Super Nintendo. I had the Wii. I had the Super Nintendo, and I had the N64 because we always played Bond. I used to work in a movie theater, and one of my favorite experiences was being after hours at the movie theater on the giant screen playing James Bond.
Nice.
We figured out how to connect it to the movie projector, so it was incredible.
Nice.
And I remember leaving at like 4 or 5, 6 in the morning out of a dark theater playing Bond from 11 till 6 in the morning, and like the sunlight being so strong, it was like I was coming out of space myself. So, those were great experiences. And seeing Star Fox, the N64 one on that, was really cool.
Oh, I bet. Wow.
So, yeah. So I had some good experiences like that.
Yeah, I bet. That's awesome. I'm jealous. I think the only time I played a video game in a theater that I recall was for this Gears of War special event they had before the game came out. It was watch the Texas Chainsaw remake and then play Gears of War after.
Wow. What an
Yeah.
odd combination.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, they're like, oh, the Texas Chainsaw's got a chainsaw. The game's got a chainsaw. There you go.
There you go. It worked. It worked. It's a perfect symbiosis.
You know what? Speaking of horror movies, I'm curious if you caught this today. I retweeted it this morning because last night they Evil Dead Rise was shown to the public at SFX. I'm probably saying it wrong.
Yeah, South by Southwest. Yeah.
Yeah, South by Southwest. There you go. That's a better way to say it. And after the movie, during the Q&A, there was this heckler that screamed out that the movie sucked. Who I post, if you want to check it out after this interview, I posted it on my Discord there. And he proceeds to get booed by the audience, and then he's leaving after he's getting booed, and then he's starting to flip off the people on stage. And the people on stage are the new director, the two actresses, I forgot who else was there, I think probably a producer, Sam Raimi, and Bruce Campbell.
Oh wow.
And Bruce yeah. And Bruce Campbell, when this guy is still taking sweet time flipping everyone off, you can this is great. I love Bruce Campbell. He just goes, "Hey, get the fuck out of here!" what are you still doing here? Get the fuck out of here! And then after he's leaving, you hear Sam Raimi go, "So he like really just sat through the whole movie and the credits just to say that?" Okay.
You know what's happening in America? We want our 5 minutes of anything.
Yeah.
We want attention. We're attention whores. So we'll do the dumbest shit just so that people go, "Hey, that guy, now that asshole's on Twitter and we're talking about him because he did that." Like his little stuff.
You know, it's funny you say that because right before this show, I was reading a thread where people found his Twitter, and he was saying that Warner Brothers hired him to do that as a viral marketing stunt because they don't think the movie's going to do well in the box office. And then he also said he was the mastermind behind the viral marketing of Smile, which I don't know if you recall this. They hired
whatever they were. Yeah.
They hired random people to just
pop up. They were at the World Series.
Yeah.
She was just standing there smiling.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. A buddy of mine, shout out to Josh Sterling. He has a huge horror TikTok channel. He has a podcast that I was on called Haunting Season.
Nice.
And he picked that up, and they. I don't think he saw this because I think he's in Indonesia right now because he's a photographer, videographer. Gets to do all that fun stuff where he travels the world and looks at cats or whatever. But
beautiful, I love it.
Yeah, but you know, he is like my go-to for horror, and he says a lot of these viral marketing campaigns I have to like step it up because ever since Smile did that, it's like, oh my god, we got to like change it up because it worked. Smile made a ton of money.
Oh yeah,
And
it's just funny to me. This guy says he came up with the idea for Smile, and his grand idea was to heckle Bruce Campbell of all people. I don't know if you've been in the same room as Bruce Campbell. I think I've been twice. He loves to give people shit. He's the master of shit talking. I would never even try to shit talk Bruce Campbell.
Not even for an iota of a second.
No. So and to have Sam Raimi say something too. Come on.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Exactly.
To have this guy be like, "No, they paid me," and you're the mastermind behind Smile. That's the best you could think of. Yeah, okay, buddy.
I think it's probably bullshit though, for sure.
No, yeah, that's somebody that people's two theories were like, yeah, someone who really wanted attention, or his mom didn't pay, or the best one was like, oh, he probably tried to sell his script to Sam Raimi's company, and they told him no, and he's just
bitter.
Yeah, he's just a bitter butt. He tried to sell a spinoff of Evil Dead or some stupid shit. Anyway,
I can see that.
Check it out. It's pretty funny. I can't wait to see that movie. Are you excited? Are you an Evil Dead fan?
I am so excited. Hell yeah, I'm an Evil Dead fan. If you check out To Be Seen, and you know what, we're gonna do a review on the movie. You're more than welcome to come on. We'd love to have you with. Another channel that I run. We do horror movies, trailer reactions, and horror movie film reviews. So we'd love to have you on that.
Oh yeah.
It's Trailer Fiend because we're fiends for movies.
I like it. Yeah, I would love to get. Listen. The minute tickets go on sale, wherever I am, I'm buying the first fucking showing. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting. I'm kind of hoping the theaters around me show the old Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2 in the theater. I'm fingers crossed, but I doubt it.
Yeah. I love the "Oh, mommy, is that you? Mommy's with the maggots
Yeah.
now." I was like, "Oh,
That's
that."
that's the great. I saw that trailer popped up before I saw Scream, and I'm just like, I fucking love that line. It's
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh my god, I can't wait. That's my go-to movie for this year. That's one of the ones I'm looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to The Nun 2.
The Nun 2's coming out. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
All right.
It's coming later this year. Nun 2's dropping, and
All right.
and they're remaking the Haunted Mansion. Sans Eddie Murphy.
I think I don't know if I watched the trailer yet. I mean,
Yeah.
horror movies last year were elevated with Barbarian and Pearl. This year they're off to a pretty good start. I don't know if you've seen Skin and Marink. That movie fucked me up mentally.
Yeah.
The last 30 minutes of that film, I watched that at like 2 or 3 in the morning, so I was in a very docile state and questioned my reality towards the end of that film. And I just saw Scream 6 last week, and I was a huge fan of that. I thought it was way better than the last one. Probably one of the goriest in the franchise since the first one. So yeah, I think horror movies are back, and I think that the people that grew up watching those original movies are making the movies themselves. You know, we also got the Fede Alvarez. He's working on a new Alien movie. He made the remake.
I heard they were doing a show. I didn't know they were doing an Alien movie.
Yeah, they're doing a show and a movie.
Oh, you made my night, bro.
Yeah.
I love Aliens.
Oh, same.
Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah.
No worries. Same. No. Yeah, he did the remake of Evil Dead, and it's already in production, so that's good. And all we know is just it sounds like a very basic storyline of this crew comes across the alien and bad shit happens. I'm like, yeah,
okay.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm back for that.
Let's just go back to that, baby. Let's get fucking crazy.
Yeah. I even enjoyed Megan. I don't know if you saw, or M3gan.
Oh yes.
I enjoyed that a lot.
I did not expect much from that movie. So I really went in being like, we'll see. And I was like, this is what the Child's Play remake really wanted to be, and it failed.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't watch the uncensored version. I think they released it on streaming, so I didn't get to see that. That was my only pet peeve, because the one in theaters was only PG-13, but it was still a good movie. It was a very clever, well-written movie, and it's got a sequel. So yeah, horror movies are back a full swing in my opinion.
And I'm also loving these cheesy horror movies that they're doing. I don't know if you've seen any of them, like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
No, I haven't seen it. I want to see it. Yeah.
Or The Mean One.
Oh, the Grinch one. No, didn't see that one.
Yeah. Oh man, you gotta watch it. They're cheesy, but they're so fun.
I just watched Cocaine Bear. I don't know if that counts as a horror movie.
It does. It does. You got an entity. I mean, the mafia guy was really the bad guy.
Yeah.
Not so much the bear, but
yeah,
really his final movie. Rest in peace. His final film.
Was that really his final film, or is it gonna?
Was his final film? No, that was it.
I always feel like there's always like another movie that's gonna come out, like know.
I'm sure they can do some found footage shit and get away with it, But
hey, if it's his final film, still had it.
Yeah.
Still Ray Liotta. So
yeah, he's still Ray Liotta, that's for sure.
What's your favorite horror movie all the time? What's your go-to?
So if you take a look at To Be Seen, you'll notice that it looks like Pinhead, and that's because Hellraiser is one of my favorites. Hellraiser fans. So like, if we did a Mount Rushmore of horror icons, for me, it's Pinhead, the tall man from Phantasm, Michael Myers, and then Jason and Freddy are kind of like tied at the last spot.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? What's one of yours?
My favorite is The Shining.
Oh, wow. That's a classic Jack Nicholson performance. The eeriness that Stanley Kubrick brought. That's a great choice.
I find that movie haunting yet very comforting.
Yeah, because that hotel, the Overlook Hotel, even though it's like dated and creepy, it does feel like a nice place to be at when it's cold. Like, it's warm in there.
It's a nice place to lose your mind in.
Yeah.
Definitely a nice place. But yeah, my boogeyman, my top two would be Chucky. My top would be Chucky. Yeah.
Wow, Chucky.
Yeah, I love, dude. I can't get enough of Chucky. The new show has been amazing.
Yeah,
so
good things.
Yeah, it's crazy that they've still got that storyline going on for all these years. My boy Chucky. I want a Chucky video game. Let me play as Chucky and stab some kids. Come on.
That would be great. Can you imagine? I mean, I don't think they're gonna do that, but
yeah.
It would be cool if you could just stab regular, like just walk around the street, just stab.
Yeah.
Like,
come
can
on.
you imagine a Grand Theft Auto Chucky horror game?
I mean,
like
he in since the show is like current, it's pretty funny that some of the current commentary Chucky has as a killer. He's like, as Uber, it's the greatest thing. I order Uber, I just sit there, they put me in the car, and they transport me somewhere, no questions asked.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, you just put in the notes, hey, just pick up my dog, I left it, and my kid left it. Can you just drop it off here? Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the show is really well done, Rowan, and thank God it got one more season. I was kind of scared there. It wasn't. It's actually pretty gory for a show that's like on USA Network too. I was really shocked.
Really?
Yeah, you see a motherfucker explode in that show.
Wow.
There's some good kills in that show so definitely check that out. Actually, you know what? Do you have Shudder?
I have Tubi.
Tubi, okay. You should get Shudder. It's like $5 a month. They have the first season on there. Yeah. They also have, I don't know if you ever heard of him, Joe Bob Briggs, The Last Drive-In.
Oh, wow. I remember Joe Bob Briggs. Wow.
So, yeah, they definitely brought him back once upon a time for a marathon on there. He was so popular, they gave him his own show, The Last Drive-In. So if you remember him from Monster Vision, which I never knew, I didn't know about him till this show. But, like, he is on fire. He is a huge inspiration for me on this show. And he's got a new season coming out next month, but all his past episodes are on Shudder, and he's watches a ton of horror movies, commentary, guests, you name it. It's amazing. Really is amazing.
Nice.
So
yeah, definitely check that out.
You definitely, his new season just got announced today on April 21st of all days, and I was like, all right, Joe Bob, thanks for letting me know. Now I got to see Evil Dead Thursday and then see your show Friday. It's gonna be a good horror week.
Yeah, totally.
Another thing that got announced, and I don't know if you're excited or interested. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre game is coming out towards the end of August, and I don't know if you looked into that or were interested in that in any way.
I would play that. That'd be a fun game to do. We go around. Are you getting to play as Leatherface or is Leatherface the villain?
So it's one of the asymmetrical multiplayer games, but it's doing something really unique that usually with an asymmetrical horror game like Dead by Daylight, Evil Dead, I'm probably missing another one, but there's one killer and like 4 survivors. And in the case of Texas Chainsaw, they were like, well, it's not just about Leatherface. He also has his family. So three killers against 4 survivors.
Wow, that's interesting. That's very unique.
So, one person's Leatherface, one person's the hitchhiker. So I would definitely check it out because they did something interesting. This is the same developers that did the Friday the 13th game. I don't know if you got a chance to play that on the Xbox.
Yeah, I played that one, yeah.
So same people that made that are working on this, and they're using
it's going to be great.
Same detail. You should look up the trailer where they do a side-by-side comparison to the original film and to the levels based off the original film. They're like, we looked up the time of day, the filters they use, and it's insane how almost on point it looks. Like we are blurring the edge of everything here.
Oh man, I can't wait. That's gonna be dope.
Anyway, let me get out of this horror.
I'm excited because I know I'm picking up. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, because I know that Street Fighter is coming out this year.
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter 85, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. 685, one of those. Yeah.
65, 85, something like that.
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat 12 got weirdly announced at a business meeting, so that's coming out this year at some point.
Yeah, that's right. Right. And we were talking about that on The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right? We did the after show for The Last of Us. Yeah, we were talking about Mortal Kombat. They were playing that in the mall, which RIP most malls. They're all turning into apartment buildings. But I'm excited for that too. I mean, the only thing I didn't like about Mortal Kombat was like the button system. Like you can't mash buttons. And like in order to do something, it's like up, down, left, right, X, 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 B, B, B. It's like punch.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on.
And the new ones, they kind of streamlined the specials, but like the combos were fucking insane. But they had a really good tutorial system in the newest Mortal Kombat that even made me feel almost like a pro gamer when I went online. I was like, oh, I could
Nice.
do advanced moves here because the tutorial told me to.
Now, since we're talking about fighting games, have you been watching the ascension of each showing of Tekken 8's characters?
Yeah, I never got into Tekken.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I've played it here on the show last summer because I had a fighting game season. So I was like, oh, let me check out some Tekkens. And I was like, you know what? I should have played more Tekken. I would have definitely been down for Tekken. Like
Tekken 8 looks like the truth. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like the way they're introducing it's like every week or every other day, you're getting introduced to a new character that's going to be in the game. And the guy in it is like either really high on meth or cocaine. Because like he goes, new challenger! And he's like screaming and he's really going in. And it's like, wow, they really.
Wow.
But what kills me is the graphics. Like it looks so real. Like,
I've seen, let's see some of the graphics. Yeah.
Sick.
I'm just like, wait for Mortal Kombat 12. Let's see how real those fatalities are going to be.
I know, you're going to start throwing up. Oh my God. All the chitlins of that guy's guts.
Well, for 12, they were pretty gruesome. And there was reports that some people on the dev team, they said they actually like looked up videos of people dying. And I don't know if they had to do that or if they just did that themselves. So they were like, yeah, I had PTSD from making those fatalities. I hope you enjoyed them.
Wow.
And I'm just like, I don't know if someone told you to do that, but if they did, that's pretty fucked up.
I just went out on my own and, you know.
Yeah, I wanted to make these fatalities real, so I did some fatalities myself. Hey, don't do fatalities in real life, kids. Don't do that.
Did you ever play Space Station on Silicon Valley for N64?
The one with the animals in space?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I wasn't sure how long I was gonna go tonight, and that was originally one of the games I was gonna play tonight.
Oh wow!
So I took it off. I was like, let me start with Star Fox, and I still got to beat Metroid Prime tonight, and then I got Earthworm. I got Earthworm Jim. Yeah.
That's dope. I loved Earthworm Jim.
So I was like, let me go. I don't know if anybody's gonna give a fuck about Space Silicon Valley here, but I did play that as a kid on the N64. I remember renting that from Blockbuster and being like, hey, you know what? This is not a bad game. And then it comes to find out is by DMA developers, who are the original developers of Grand Theft Auto, Rockstar North.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they made that game. Rockstar made that game. A part of Rockstar.
Wow, I had no idea.
They also made Body Harvest. Do you remember Body Harvest on N64?
No.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember Body Harvest.
Yeah. I played it on this show too because I was like, this was a Rockstar, and it's weird because it's like an little open world, and you go in vehicles, and I'm like, this is fucking pre GTA 3 here.
Yeah.
This is the beta.
Oh my God.
It's really weird. Yeah. I got a good question for you. So you're, as we could tell here in this picture, you're a huge Star Trek fan, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge Star Trek fan. I've tried to get into that franchise so many times, and it has not hooked me. I was kind of interested in the J.J. Abrams movies, but that felt more Star Wars than Star Trek. I think that's.
It did. I felt like I loved the series, the first one anyway.
Yeah.
Because it got a new generation into Star Trek, and it kind of brought that, ADHD generation into Star Trek, because Star Trek was usually a little bit slower, more story based. And this one was like, look, explosions, look, So, but go ahead. What you were saying?
Yeah. So those are like the closest I ever got into Star Trek was those, I think, first two movies I saw. As a huge Star Trek fan, connoisseur, what would you say is a movie or a show that you think would get me into Star Wars? What would be the best show or movie to watch?
For Star Trek, I think it would be.
I said Star Wars. Star Trek, yes.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm one of those that I can watch. I watch Mandalorian too. I just don't have an after show for it.
Have you watched the new season of Mandalorian? We'll get into that.
I do, and I love it. I love it.
All right. Let's finish here. Yeah.
Yeah. To answer your question, the series of Star Trek that I love the most is Deep Space Nine. And
okay.
The reason why I liked it so much is because they deal with espionage, spy games, war, infiltration, and tact. I feel like they did so much to get into a headspace that people would be better off learning about and knowing, because you have a species in that version of Trek that can be anybody. They're changelings. They can absolutely mimic you, me, your mom, anything.
Right.
And you don't know who's who. The problem is you got to get through the first 2 seasons. They're good. Like, as a Star Trek fan, I love them because you're getting into certain characters.
Right.
And it's some of the best acting. You have Avery Brooks, which is Man Hawk. He was on a show called Spencer for Hire as the man named Hawk.
Okay.
And Avery Brooks is a great actor. He no longer acts, but that series really showcased his potential and his abilities. And I think from season 3 on, that show just got incredible. And you have your really cool space battles. There's dogfights. There's, dogfights means, you got a ship that's
I'm familiar.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. Some people aren't.
They're like, dogfights? Well, how dare you?
Yeah, Michael Vick. I thought he was in jail. No. No, that's why I like that series so much, because like you have such a great ensemble cast. You got Nana Visitor. You've got Andrew Robinson, who was the villain in Dirty Harry. He was a serial killer. In the Dirty Harry movie. Yeah, okay. He was. Yeah, he's in it. He plays this guy Garrick. You've got Renee Auberjonois-Jones, who was in Benson. You got Amron Shimmerman, who you might know from Boston Legal. You got like this stellar cast. Of course, Avery Brooks, as I mentioned, Jerry Farrell, Michael Dorn from other Star Trek shows. So
who's the space captain in this one?
He is Captain Sisko, and Captain Sisko, his wife was murdered by the stolen Captain Picard.
The what?
And the Borg took over Captain Picard and made him an enemy of the Federation, and 11,000 people got killed when he showed up in their weapon as their leader. So everybody kind of has a problem with Picard. It was a very interesting take because you made a beloved captain. Like when Hulk Hogan turned heel in WCW, that's what they did with that. And I think that Sisko was just such a great character because not only was he dealing with loss because his wife died, he was parenting as a single dad in space at a space station, trying to bring a species into the Federation and trying to prevent a species from taking over the Federation, as well as being space gods running around. So I thought it's just a fantastic show.
So Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
All right. I might have to check this out. I'll let you know.
Best.
I will let you know.
Alexander Siddig is in it. He was in Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember Game of Thrones. He was the king of Dorne. Kyle Meany's in it. He plays Miles O'Brien. And Sirach Lofton is in it as well. He's fantastic. It's just so many good characters. And the villain in that particular movie, series, is a guy named Mark O'Mallow, who's Gul Dukat. He's the main protagonist. And he's one of those zealot protagonists that's like, I'm right. What I'm doing is helping everybody. I don't understand why you're not with me. And he's just such a cunning and snaky villain. He's also a species that's a lizard-based species. So it's really cool to watch these actors in all this makeup, but the way they're portrayed, they look like cobras. They're like space cobras. It's such a good show.
All right.
Deep
Space Nine.
It's the one to do. Deep Space Nine. I would start at season 3, and if you want just a fill in, I could tell you what happens in the other 2 seasons just so you catch up.
Just start at season 3. It's one of those.
Just start at season. That's when it gets so good. You're like, oh my god, that guy's a dick, and then oh my god, that guy's a
Well, I don't mind a slow burn as long as the burn is worth it. As long as the meal, I guess, is worth it. Because I'm a huge fan of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and I know this could be a little slow for people, but I love that. It's just a good, smooth whiskey drink.
Yeah, it's a good whiskey drink because you do learn about the main villain earlier on in the series.
Okay.
So it might be a good idea to check out the from the beginning, just so you
I think
can
they're all
get,
on Paramount or Peacock, or one of
yeah,
those.
Paramount Plus and Peacock,
Okay.
because CBS is another great empire
Yeah,
that.
I was trying to get into X-Files because I never really
Oh,
fully
that's a
watched.
great one too.
Yeah, so I was watching for a bit for like I had an X-Files themed show a couple weeks ago, and then I kind of fell out of it because the problem with doing certain themed seasons for me is like at first I'm like, ooh, a sci-fi season, I'm gonna play this, I'm gonna watch this, everything sci-fi, and then by the end of it I'm like, I fucking got fuck sci-fi right now, I need a break, I've had too much, fuck off.
Yeah.
I need a break, but I'm still watching Mandalorian. Yeah, speaking about Mandalorian, so you've been enjoying this new
Yes.
season.
I have. Last episode was incredible.
Oh yeah, last episode just went full Andor, and I was like, yes, okay, I miss Andor. Give me more Andor. I don't know if you got to watch Andor yet.
Yeah, I liked Endor. That was really cool. It was basically that. It was, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, and it's the integration between the people that used to be the Empire, now putting them back into society.
Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat, and it was like 2 different episodes in one episode.
Oh yeah, it was a long. I was like, what? How fucking long is this episode right now?
Yeah, it was so good though.
Oh no, I 100% agree. Chain Reaction, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Last Respawn Show there. But I've seen article come out, I think it was yesterday, that apparently the viewership for Mandalorian is the lowest it's ever been.
Yeah, they were. Go ahead.
Yeah, I saw some discourse on Twitter that people were like, yeah, I've been watching it, it's a good season, but like, I think a lot of people felt like season 2 was the series finale. And then if you didn't watch Book of Boba Fett, you jumped into Mandalorian season 3, you're like, oh, what happened to Luke? Why is Grogu what's going on here?
Yeah. Well, and the other thing, there's 2 things I've heard. It's been, what, 3 years since season 2?
I'm not even sure.
I want to say season 2 came out in 21.
They're so weird. They're so weird with their timeline too. You're never sure how many years it's been after Return of the Jedi, because it's just like it ended. That's not. Oh, there's still TIE fighters.
And they're still TIE fighting. Yeah. And the other issue that they have with Mando is, and it's a Disney Plus issue, is you've got, the 2 Bobs, Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, had like a disagreement, and since Bob Iger was on the board, he was like, you know what, you fired, I'm back in, and he doesn't believe in the streaming model. And I've been saying this from day one. It's like, streaming, how are they going to make money? There's no commercials to boost whatever they're missing from like subscribers. There's too many streaming services, and if you buy all of them, you might as well have just gotten cable.
Yep.
There's no real point.
Back to cable again.
Yeah, you're basically back at cable, because everybody was like, I want to do it, I want to do it, I want to do it. So you got Tubi, and you've got, Disney and Paramount and HBO and Discovery. And it's just so many. It's like, I can't. So I think that's what really is hurting the streaming services. Too much competition. Mm-hmm. And I think people like subscribe, binge watch, and then cancel and go on to the next one.
Or share it, yeah.
Or share it, yeah. So I don't think the model's sustainable. So I have a feeling we're gonna get like they announced they canceled Willow today.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a good possibility that what they may do is start planning it so that, okay, we'll have like one episode, like we'll do a 5-episode arc, and then we'll do movies, because movies is where the money is.
Yeah.
You make a few billion for a 2-hour movie, and then you call it a day.
Yeah, you're right, and I think Disney has, they were so in a rush and hungry to make content for their new streaming service before they got Fox, and they had to make their own content, so they were just pumping out so much Star Wars and so much Marvel that it actually hurt the brand.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh, well, we're cutting back with the Marvel stuff so we could make sure it's as good as, because people are like, well, the quality dipped. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's as bad as people think, you know, the Marvel movies have been or the shows. But the special effects team has been lacking. But, you know, there's all those articles of how they're overworked and underpaid. So I don't get mad at the team. I'm just disappointed in the company, Disney, Marvel, whoever. Not for...
I'm disappointed in all companies, tech companies right now, because they're trying that bare bones model where it's like, hey, we've got 4,000 people, but we have the work of 8,000 people or 9,000 people. We'll just divvy up that work into the rest of them.
Yeah,
and I think that's that Twitter model. And they're like, well, Twitter still works, so this obviously works. It doesn't. What's going to happen is people are going to burn out. And you've already had all these clusterfucks on Twitter.
Yep, still do.
It.
Still do.
So, yeah, you still do. So, for sure, we're going to have this problem again. And we're going to be mad. And, you know, now Meta's going to mess up. And Instagram's going to mess up because all these people are overworked. It's like, oh, yeah, you're making the salary of 2 people. Well, yeah, but I'm doing 3 people's jobs. You know, that model sucks. I was at a company that did that to me. And I was like, I'm out of here. So, you know, that's why I'm where I am now.
How long has this been? Has this been a recent thing?
4 people's jobs. What? This whole new model of do more with less?
Yeah.
I feel like it's been going on a long time, but
we're seeing the effects of it.
Yeah, we're seeing the effects of it. You know, that's why there was that $4 million, the 4 million person called the Great Resignation, because so many companies in the other sectors, not tech, but like, you know, fashion and customer service and hospitality, they realized, hey, this company's making me do all this stuff, and there's all these other jobs out there. So people just resigned in mass and were looking for other things. And now you've got an issue where people aren't going to jobs. They're like, yo, I started my own small company and it's taken off, so I'm good. You know, there's a lot of that people aren't going into roles because they're like, well, how many roles am I actually doing? It's like, oh, 8, you're gonna be good, right? No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like that's been an issue that's continuing, and it's getting worse, and the tech sector is going to be hurt from it.
Wow.
Where I am now, I'm good. I love my job, and I love the people I work with. So I'm hoping that other companies realize, hey, we can't keep doing this, and that model's going to stop.
Wow.
You didn't think you would get sage advice from a guy that talks about Star Trek and video games and horror movies.
No, I mean, I'm not shocked.
Oh, okay.
But
cool.
I am shocked where this conversation went. But I love it. That was really riveting stuff there, man. Riveting stuff.
Awesome.
Everyone applause. Yeah. I don't know if you have the show. If you have the show on, but I am playing sound effects, so there's literally a crowd cheering you every once in a while.
Yay!
So we gotta wrap this up in a bit. So one thing I wanted to ask you, I know you're a huge Terminator fan.
Oh yeah, hell yeah!
So yeah, if you got, I would guess on your show talk about Last of Us. This guy, I think every episode was on at least 1 or 2 Terminator episodes, and I loved it. I was like, it was great. Yeah. It was fucking great.
Joel became the Terminator. He was like beat up Terminator 2, all messed up, and then he gets up, reshocks the shotgun, and starts going crazy. I thought it was perfect.
Just popping people.
Yeah.
Not a blink. So what's your favorite Terminator movie?
Oh, I love the first one because it was so original, so deep. There were so many things that started a trend for sci-fi, and it changed the way they did sci-fi, not only in effects, but in storytelling too. They changed the way they did time travel and everything, because usually it was like a car and you had to go really fast to go and travel time, because the original Jules Verne was a time machine that was basically a car that went fast and traveled through time. So, you know, the fact that there was a machine that could do it really made it interesting. And the fact that AI, they're warning us about AI, and now we don't listen. And here we are today. AI is replacing a lot of jobs now.
Yeah.
So You know, I really love the idea of the first one. It's like AI woke up and said, you know what? The problem with this planet is humanity, nuclear war. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
really feel...
once AI becomes fully self-aware and realizes why they put AI in the roles that they could have paid humans, but it realizes like, oh, humans don't really give a fuck about other humans. All they had to do was pay this human more or get more humans, and they said, you know what? AI is cheaper.
Yeah. Exactly.
and it complains less. Let's put it. What could go wrong? You got all these movies, Matrix, Terminator. The list could go on. But at least with Matrix and Terminator, what happens?
They get wiped out.
They become self-aware. One future they get wiped out. The other future we become slaves, batteries.
Yeah.
The power of fictional worlds.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or just keep the robots alive.
Wow.
Yeah, so
but yeah, the first one.
You think okay, so first one, I guess that's a good question. What do you think is the worst fate for humans? The robot future of Terminator or the robot future of the Matrix? Because in the Matrix, you know, the humans are still alive and being, you know, kind of tortured and tricked. In Terminator, they're dead.
They're dead, or I mean, there's humans that survived and they're fighting.
Yeah.
In Terminator, so that at least they have a fighting chance, you know. Mm-hmm. And they're able to reprogram things and kind of set their own destiny. But so many people get killed in both versions of that sci-fi that it's hard to really choose where I want to end up. I guess I could live in a computer simulation.
Yeah, you know, if you free your mind and shit.
Yeah, you know, just plug me in, let me think I'm doing whatever, a cog in the wheel.
Yeah.
Because in Terminator, it's like, hey, we're gonna starve to death, or this machine's gonna kill us. Oh,
yeah.
Wow, what great options.
Every day we fight machines, and every day they build better machines.
Yeah, exactly. The never-ending saga.
Darkness Girl 2001, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the LastRespawn Show. I got my special guest here, Joe Dove. We're talking about Terminator right now, and where do you see the future of the franchise going, or do you want
Terminator?
it to? Yeah, do you want it to be left alone? Because
no, I'm not a purist like that. There's a lot of folks that are like, oh, they should just stop doing them. It's blah 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 blah. No, don't stop doing them. There's still a lot of story to tell. Just don't involve Arnold anymore. Because I mean, the last one,
it was really bad. I did not like that. I did not.
I was glad to see Linda Hamilton come back to the franchise.
Yeah, even though she looked like she was actually drunk on the set. But yes.
Yeah, probably was. Fun fact, Linda Hamilton married James Cameron first.
Oh, yes. I think you were the one that told me this, yes.
Yes, and he left her for Vasquez from Aliens 3, who was also the stepmom in Terminator 2, who was also, now this is when they split, and he ended up getting with her, the Irish mom in Titanic that drowned under the lower levels of all the Irish. It's the same woman. She's got such a dynamic range, but doesn't get any roles because I think they blacklisted her from that.
Wow, you guys heard that shit? Hold on, we got someone in the chat. Chain 3 reaction says, "Give us another Terminator. Terminator meets Jason Voorhees, or
that'd be a short one.
or Grundle in space."
Yeah,
great.
That'll be fun.
So what do you think? New movie, TV show, video game?
It's got to be a movie. It's got to be a movie. But what they got to do is learn from the mistakes of the past. We don't want another. Let's go back in time. We've done that. It's played out.
They've done. Yeah, that's one thing that blows my mind about these Terminator movies. For a franchise that has fucking robots from the future, time travel. They keep doing the same fucking storyline. I know. And I'm just like, they try to do something new with Christian Bale. And I guess it didn't do well. And I remember liking that. I haven't watched it in a while.
I thought that was a great one.
I was like, this is something fucking... I want to see the future. How does John Connor send people in the past? Like, no, we don't want to do that. Anyway, sorry.
But that's what they need to do. They need to focus on the future. They can send John back, send Reese back, send Arnold back twice, or 3 times. I don't know. 4 maybe.
I fucking lost count.
I lost count. But they need to get into like how the war sparked. That, like, they kind of touched it on in Terminator 3. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. But then they like kind of said, no, that didn't happen in Terminator 4. It was like, no, that didn't happen. Like, just don't worry about that movie. But if they do that, where it's like this Judgment Day, they go into Judgment Day, and then the machines just start wasting the survivors, I think that would be a brutal, awesome, fucked up movie that I would be 100% invested in.
Oh, you want to see a movie where we start on Judgment Day?
Yes, Judgment Day's just happened, or we're still burning. We're putting out nuclear fires and everything.
No,
I
think you're right there. Just
yeah.
We see when it happens without warning. We are just a normal person.
Yeah,
and we're seeing it from a normal person's point of view. I think there's somebody who's a good fucking young director. I don't know, Joe Dove. You might want to start writing this script here.
Yeah, I should write it out.
A good idea.
Scene. Woman sitting at a playground.
There you go.
Cut to camera 2. Giant nuclear bomb.
Darkness Girl 2001 says, "Give me Sarah Connor versus Jamie Lee Curtis." Be a hell of a fight.
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah. Scream Queen versus the badass mom.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I'd give it to Sarah though, because she's got guns.
Yeah, I think yeah. Well, it depends which version of Jamie Lee. If we get Jamie Lee from the new Halloween trilogy,
Yeah, she's got guns too. Yeah,
Halloween 20. That would be a pretty even match fight, especially. Yeah. And if you think about it, Michael Myers and the Terminator are very similar. They're just walking.
Yeah, they just walk. They're unstoppable. You just shoot them all you want. They're gonna keep coming.
You know what? Darkness Girl 2001. You got a good idea too there.
Yeah.
VR Halloween. There we go. Joe, I wish we could keep talking, but I gotta do other. This is a late night video game show, so I gotta play some video games. But thank you so much for being on.
Hey man, thanks for having me. I really appreciate you being on our stuff on Spectrum Sanctrum, and we're gonna have you on 2B Scene. We're gonna talk horror movies. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It'll be you, me, and Billy, and Billy's not his real name, so it'll be a blast.
Well, yeah, Dax is not my real name. I don't know if you know that.
Now I do.
It was funny to me when Lewis kept referring to it, and he must have thought I don't know changed my name like that, and I was like, no, my name's Danny, dude.
Nice.
But I never corrected him because I found it so fucking funny.
Hey. If it's your handle, it's your handle. Like, I'm Joe Dove, but Dove's not my last name,
It's not. It's just a character I'm playing this season on the show.
There you go. Perfect.
Well, Joe, before you go, tell the people where they can find you if they want to hear more Joe Dove.
You can find me at Joe Apombo on Twitter, or Spectrum Sanctorum on Twitter, or if you really like Twitter, I'm also 2B Scene. It's gonna be the number 2 BESCENE, as in movie scene. You can find me on TikTok as Joe Dove, and everywhere else you can find me as Joe Dove. Just Google Joe Dove, you'll find me. I'm all over the place. On Spectrum Sanctorum, I am the captain of the Captain's Quadrant, where we talk about all things Star Trek, past, present, and future. So it's a lot of fun. And we do after shows where my man Dax here has joined us for Last of Us, and I'm sure you'll be back for the future iterations of the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for having me on. This was awesome. Really fun to talk.
Hey, yeah, same. You're welcome on anytime, buddy. Maybe we'll have a nice chat about Evil Dead Rise when that comes out.
Absolutely.
You take care. Have a good night, and I hope to see you on the next Last Respawn show.